Ryan Loco here for HeavyMMA.com, joined by Matt Brown. An eventful night here at the Honda Center in Anaheim, California. UFC 121 is in the books, and we saw the absolute decimation of Brock Lesnar tonight by Cain Velasquez.
Yeah, it was something none of us saw happening. We didn't think it was going to happen, but tell you one thing, Cain Velasquez, maybe 245 is like the perfect weight for a heavyweight or something because he was ridiculously fast, but still huge, powerful enough to where we were talking about it, right before we went on camera here. Brock gets hit one time. We saw it in the last couple of fights. I mean, Brock gets hit one time and he retreats and he acts. It gets all weird and stuff. Maybe Brock just can't take a punch very well. I mean, maybe there's a chance that that's the case. But changing of the guard, I think people have been talking about Cain Velasquez for 3 years. They said he was going to be the champ. You can ask Javier Mendez, John Fitch, all the guys were saying he's going to be the heavyweight champion of the world. Heavyweight champion of the world.
So let's do a quick rundown here real quick to start the show off. Brendan Schaub faced Gabriel Gonzaga. As we said before, we thought Gabriel Gonzaga, extremely talented jiu-jitsu black belt, probably wasn't going to use it, and guess what? He didn't. So what happened was we saw Brendan Schaub, Gabriel Gonzaga, 3-round stand-up war, and as we predicted, Brendan Schaub got the best of it.
Yeah, I mean, it went exactly how we predicted. All of us said, hey, this could be an interesting fight if Gabriel Gonzaga fights to his strengths. And for about the 5th fight in a row, or maybe 7th, 8th fight in a row or something like that we saw, doesn't fight to his strengths. Dana didn't really give him the greatest vote of confidence there in the post-fight press conference either. Can you talk about his place in the company? I didn't want to really talk about that. So it didn't really give him a vote of confidence either. Gabe might be getting the pink slip, but it is what it is. You gotta. I don't know. George Gurgels of the world and whatever. I mean, it's fun and entertaining to watch people banging, but it's frustrating as hell whenever somebody doesn't fight to their strengths. So, I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean,
Totally know what you're saying. Hats off to Brendan Schaub, however. Fantastic performance, and keeps elevating himself in that division. Up next, we had Tito Ortiz versus Matt Hamill, teacher versus student. Matt Hamill ended up winning a 3-round decision. However, what I took from the fight is that we saw a brand-new, revitalized Tito Ortiz. This is a 100% healthy Tito Ortiz. He said at the press conference that he needs to get back to his wrestling, and I agree, because for the whole fight, we didn't see one takedown attempt from Tito. It was just a stand-up battle that obviously Tito really doesn't want to get into.
No, I mean, no one was ever going to confuse either one of those guys for strikers tonight. I mean, the striking was pretty rudimentary and everything like that. But, you saw a spinning back fist from Tito, like you said. He looked to be in great shape. I mean, he did kind of win there in the 3rd round, but, whatever. It's his first fight in a while. And I think he's got a couple fights left in him. I think he's a good draw. He's polarizing figure. They love him or hate him, which is it's a good thing. It sells tickets and puts asses in the seats. And I think, Tito's got another couple good fights, and he needs to get back to the old Tito, the old ground and pound, the get down, throw some elbows, and do the stuff like that. Because, I mean, the Tito we saw tonight, although he did look good and did look like, he's definitely in shape and has been working really hard, it's not the Tito that's going to win fights in the UFC at 205 anymore. I mean, he's not going to outstrike anybody. So you got to go back to the drawing board and do what got you here,
There you go, and obviously Matt Hamill is moving his way up in the 205 ranks. Dana said his next opponent is definitely going to be a top 10 guy. Then we saw Thiago Sanchez taking on Paulo Thiago, and this fight proved that you can have a 3-round decision that's fought mainly on the ground, and it's going to be a hell of a fight. In fact, it won fight of the night. It was a beautiful exhibition of jiu-jitsu, of ground and pound, and it was the Thiago Sanchez that I fell in love with many years ago. I saw that ferociousness on the ground. He wasn't tentative. He was going for things. He was throwing those elbows. He was aggressive, and it was a beautiful thing to watch.
Yeah, I mean, it was the transitions. I mean, even Paulo Thiago in defeat, his defense was, some of the defense to the stuff on the ground was amazing. The transitions on the ground were amazing. Diego being able to hold his own and the body positioning, and when he got that body triangle on him, that was the Diego Sanchez that we all have grown to love. He looks a lot better at 170 than he did at 155. He looked a lot better. He looked like the old Diego Sanchez again, and he said he attributes a lot to that to getting back to New Mexico and going back to Greg Jackson's place. And I believe that. I mean, you're training with the best people in the world. It's only going to make you better. It's going to put a fire back in him. He said he had gotten in some bad habits. He even brought up the whole MMA awards thing, being hammered on stage and all stuff like that. So it was cool to see Diego like that, because he's a fun fighter. He's a interesting personality, and stuff like that is it's what it's all about, And in the 170 division, we understand that there's George St. Pierre and everybody else, just about. And that everybody else is turning into a pretty cool little pack, you know? I mean, there's going to be some fun fights over the next 18 months in that division. Absolutely.
And Dana says he wants to see Thiago at 170, but again, that's not up to him. That's up to Thiago and his camp. And the co-main event of the evening, Jake Shields taking on Martin Kampmann. A lot riding on this fight for Jake Shields. It's his first fight in the UFC and also a potential title shot against the winner of George St. Pierre and Josh Koscheck. We saw a Jake Shields that I want to say the weight cut maybe had something to do with it. He had fought at 185 the previous 2 fights, and also it just seemed like he tried to stay too heavy before the fight because he said he cut around 20 pounds, which is just absolutely ridiculous.
I mean, really, Jake only did enough to win in that fight. There was nothing impressive about the fight. I thought Kampmann actually put it to him there in the 3rd round, you know, pretty good, and the only significant blows of the whole fight came in the 3rd round, and they were by Kampmann. First 2 rounds Jake won, and they were pretty boring and pretty, you know, I mean, Jake gets the boring fighter label slapped on him a lot. Those first 2 rounds were boring. There was no 2 ways about it. And yeah, the weight cut obviously affected him huge because he was winded. That 3rd round, he was gassed, and that's not Jake Shields, you know. And tell you, that Jake Shields tonight, not only does George St. Pierre destroy him, but I was telling Jeremy, John Fitch beats him. I think Koscheck beat. I mean, that Jake Shields tonight, a lot of people in that division beat him. So he needs to go back to the drawing. He's going to have to lose some of that mass that he worked so hard to build up, you know, to get to 185. He's going to have to lose some of that mass. He's going to have to get back to a lower weight because, like you said, cutting 20 pounds before this fight really took a toll on him.
Well, regardless of the performance, Dana said Jake Shields is next in line for the winner of GSP and Koscheck.
Taking nothing away from Kampmann either, you know.
Absolutely not. I think actually it's a testament to Kampmann and how well he did. His takedown defense was absolutely marvelous. And also, I'm really surprised that Jake really didn't utilize his elbows whatsoever. It didn't lead to any submission attempts from the elbows like I thought they would. And now the main event of the evening, Brock Lesnar, UFC heavyweight champion, taking on Cain Velasquez. He had the strength of the Latino community because it was absolutely jumping in that arena tonight. And Cain Velasquez came out with a fury that I had never seen before. He took me aback because I admit it, I picked Brock to win this. I picked him to win it handedly. And Cain Velasquez absolutely dominated Brock Lesnar tonight.
I thought it was weird how Brock opened the fight, the bull charge and the flying knees and the all kinds of stuff. I was like, that's kind of weird. And then, you know, I thought for sure Brock was going to get it. He was going to take him down. He was going to lay on top of him and grind out probably like a 5-round decision. The fact of the matter is he did get him down. He couldn't keep him down. I mean, Cain got taken down twice, popped right back up both times, and that's when I was like, uh-oh, because that was obviously the game plan, and that game plan is not working. Brock gets hit. Same thing we've seen in a couple other fights. One solid punch, and he kind of retreats and runs and doesn't cover up, no movement like that. It was just the turn and sprint. And, you know, I mean, that's taking nothing away from Cain either. Obviously, he punches hard. Obviously, he's a ridiculous fighter. I mean, like we were saying earlier, everyone at AKA has been talking about he was going to be the future of the heavyweight division. They've been saying that for 3 years. It came to fruition tonight. And honestly, I can't see. We said whoever wins this fight is probably going to hold the belt for a long time. I stick by that. I think Cain probably is going to hold this belt for a long time.
Well, there you have it, folks. Cain Velasquez is your new UFC heavyweight champion. And I'll tell you one person who's really excited about that, Junior Dos Santos, because I have to think he's a little more excited about facing the guy that he knows he's going to strike with as opposed to a guy like Brock Lesnar who would just immediately shoot for the takedown. I think we're going to see an absolutely fantastic match between Cain Velasquez and Junior Dos Santos in the near future for the UFC heavyweight title. Coming to you from beautiful Anaheim, California, the Honda Center. UFC 121 is in the books for all your UFC 121 coverage and all your MMA coverage. Keep it here, HeavyMMA.com. For Matt Brown, I'm Ryan Loco. For Jeremy Botter, I'm still Ryan Loco. Take care.